Hello everybody, I think we might start. So first I want to thank everybody for coming here. It's a miserable day outside, but it's a real pleasure to be here as we come together to recognise the achievements of ADAPT. So since 2015, ADAPT has really grown into a powerhouse of innovation and talent and scientific excellence that I think this report shows is driving real change in Ireland and abroad. As the ADAPT Director, the incumbent at the moment, I'm incredibly proud of what we've achieved, and I'd like to take a moment to recognise the contributions of my predecessors, Professor Vinnie Wade, who was the founding director of ADAPT, and Professor Dave Lewis, who held the reins before I took over. So thanks, Dave. I'd also like to welcome Celine Fitzpatrick, the new CEO of Taide Éireann Research Ireland. So welcome and very best of luck. So to begin, I'd like to highlight three numbers that I think speak to the impact that ADAPT is having. The first of these is that ADAPT has contributed a staggering 1.1 billion to the Irish economy. From a 42.4 million research core funding investment from the Irish government through Research Ireland, Taide Éireann. That represents an extraordinary 27.5-fold return on investment, and I think demonstrates the potential for public investment to drive real change and innovation in Ireland. The second number I'd like to highlight is that our ADAPT has managed to secure over 177 million euros in external competitive research funding. 50 million of that has come from European funding, and some of that's from the ERC programs, some of the most prestigious, the most difficult programs to win funding through. And ADAPT's ability to succeed and having that track record of success in such a competitive international research funding environment has really solidified ADAPT's position as a global innovator in that space. And third, through our work and our activity, we've contributed to the generation of 586 highly skilled jobs in Ireland. Those jobs are increasing and improving Ireland's brand abroad as a destination for talent and as a place where we develop cutting-edge, leading-edge technologies. But beyond those numbers, I think the thing that I'm most proud about is the people I get to work with on a daily basis. Those people are people in the back room who sometimes aren't seen. So we have an incredible research professional and operations team. We have the most successful EPE program in the country, and I really want to call that team out. We're very proud of their work. But it's also our students, our researchers, and our partners from outside of that who come together to make the ADAPT community. So I'm particularly proud of our PhD students and our graduates and the impact they have when they leave the centre and go out into the world. And we'll hear from one of them today, Delarum. Thanks, Delarum, for coming along, a recent graduate from ADAPT. So Delarum's journey through her PhD, which came through the challenging times of the pandemic, I think is an example of the importance of digital engagement. And it also speaks to the resilience and excellence that define the centre. Delarum's research is also an example of how ADAPT's research is ensuring that the jobs of the future are created here in Ireland. But it's not just about the research, as you'll see in this report. It's about the industry leaders who trust us to help them innovate. It's about the policymakers who partner with us to shape the future. And you'll hear about our journeys with those cohorts through Cathal, who will speak to our scientific engagement and international work, and Declan, who will talk about our industry engagements. But beyond the research and industry, there's more to ADAPT. You'll hear today from one of our civil society partners, Garoid, who's come up from Kerry, from the Centre for Smart Ageing. And I think that will show, Garoid's presentation will show how ADAPT has connections across all tiers of Irish society. Outside of academia, we're connecting with real people, with real communities, and we're trying to enact real change. So it's an incredibly exciting story. I'd like to highlight as well that, at least I believe, that being part of ADAPT is being part of something bigger, certainly something bigger than you can achieve as an individual PI. It's about being part of something that's trying to drive Ireland forward. It's trying to keep Ireland at the forefront of digital technology and AI innovation. And ADAPT is doing pioneering research in artificial intelligence, but we're also doing studies on how that technology is impacting on people and society. And that's led to interdisciplinary work across a range of fields, from digital humanities, through to health, through to education, and through to digital societies more generally. That has also led to global partnerships that's helping us and helping Ireland fulfill its mission of being a tech capital. So to bring this around, I just finish by saying that Ireland is a small country, but when we come together, when government, when industry, when civil society, when research and education come together and work together in a virtuous circle, our potential to have a significant impact is enormous. And I think that's what this report shows. So I'm incredibly proud of what we've achieved, and I'm really excited about where we're going into the future. We have a lot of exciting work to do, and I'm sure we can achieve that. So we had hoped that the Minister for Finance, Jack Chambers, would be with us today. He's received the report, he's welcomed it, and he's very enthusiastic about it. But unfortunately, as you can imagine at this time of year, his schedule is quite crammed. So very grateful that the Minister has taken such a time to really engage with our vision and our mission. And he took a lot of time out today, a very busy time to engage with us today. I'd now like to invite Celine Fitzpatrick, the new CEO of Research Ireland, to give us a few words. Thank you, Celine.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if you can see me over this. So it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon on behalf of, or this evening on behalf of TIGER and Research Ireland to launch ADAPT's Shaping Tomorrow's report. The report, which is indeed really fascinating for me coming into this role new, the report really summarises really well some really points which I was not aware of at all, and demonstrates the far-reaching impact of the Centre's research over the last 10 years, both on our economy, but as others have mentioned already, on our society as a whole. I am also delighted to be here as the interim CEO of Ireland's new National Competitive Research and Innovation Funding Agency. This is my first external event in my new role, and I was here earlier for the photographs with Professor Kelleher and the Minister, and I should mention that John, during a very small window of opportunity, managed to make a pitch for more funding to the Minister. And it was really masterful how he did it, because he had a very small window and he was straight in there pointing out our ranking position and our need to improve our ranking, basically. So you would all have been very proud of him that he took the opportunity when he presented. I also was delighted to have the opportunity, I suppose, to get a kind of a one-on-one briefing really from John in terms of the work that goes on here, and we had a very interesting conversation on the potential of AI and how it has the potential to transform so much in our society, everything from work in medical diagnosis to identifying fraud and so on. But as the Minister also mentioned, which I think he has stolen many of my best lines, to be honest, it also raises many ethical issues. But I was really impressed to hear how that's very much taken into account and very much managed within the research environment. Phrases like humanising AI, really brought it home, and it's just, I think what I felt after meeting John was, I wish more people could hear this. More people would have access to this perspective, because I think it would give us all a lot of hope and reassurance about our journey ahead, because I think we really do need expertise in this area, and we need it here, maybe not from overseas or other places. It was also great to hear that researchers in ADAPT are, as I said, pioneering this human-centric approach. which is complemented by research on transparent approaches to data governance and a focus on compliance and ethics, which I really think is critical. And one of the things that was most striking for me was the interdisciplinary nature of the research work. That it isn't all, I suppose I had the impression that it was all STEM-based, but to hear and understand the work being done by social scientists and others in the arts and humanities space here was really, really fantastic. And this brings me nicely to my next point, which is around the establishment of Research Ireland and the ambition and opportunity that this presents to the Irish research community to move beyond those siloed approaches to research and to embrace an interdisciplinary approach which marries both STEM and AHSS, which is exactly what we are trying to do with bringing former SFI and former IRC together under this new banner. So Research Ireland had its first board meeting yesterday, and we're very pleased to have a representative from Trinity College on the board, Professor Nicolosi, and I also see another board member, I'm sure he'd be delighted to have punched him out, Leonard Hobbs has also joined our board. So I think we're very pleased to have such a talented and committed group on our board who will guide us as we go forward in this journey developing Research Ireland. Our job is now to take that opportunity presented by this new agency to improve on what we've done before, to build on what we've done before, but also to look to new areas and to look to invest in new areas. It is clear that much needs to be done to develop our position as a leader in this space. John mentioned to the Minister this morning that our rankings have slipped in terms of our level of investment relative to similar sized countries. So I think this is, the Minister said some wonderful things there, but all of this has to be backed by funding and investment, and a big part of our role is to advocate on behalf of the entire community for more investment. So I welcome the publication today and the incredible contribution that ADAPT has made. And if people are looking for proof points, what better proof point could we present really? I mean, it's just so impressive. It's significant return on funding, has to be a strong argument for future funding. And it also showcases how committed research can leverage public investment, because that's the other aspect here that's so successful. So ADAPT is of course part of a wider network of research centres, which was established initially in 2012, and I want to acknowledge Siobhan Roach here, who is Research Ireland's leader on the whole Research Centres programme, and it has proved to be transformative for the ecosystem, and I think, we say that, but I think we have a lot of evidence to demonstrate that as well. The benefits of the programme are manifold: cutting-edge discovery, enhanced knowledge, advancements for public good, job creation and retention, regional development, and of course, critically, developing a steady pipeline of research talent. Within the ADAPT programme, it specifically has been working to advance scientific breakthroughs, building a highly skilled workforce and setting the standard of how research in AI should be conducted. And I think there are learnings from this that we can take and share. So there's best practice sharing, which I think is something that we need to probably focus more on, and more collaboration is obviously a route to success in this space. Collaboration, learning from each other. So many of you will know that the Research Ireland launched a new call under the Research Centres programme following extensive consultation, which was open to both new and current centres. And just by way of an update, this new programme provides existing Research Ireland centres with the opportunity to apply for funding for a new research programme which will run for a period of 8 years. And as with all Research Ireland programmes, it follows a very rigorous international peer review process. Pre-proposal applicants are due to be notified of submission decisions over the next couple of weeks. So it's an exciting time, maybe slightly stressful time for some people. And we are very excited to see the fruits of the new call and the excellent new knowledge it will generate, delivering research and innovation at scale. Finally, I want to acknowledge the role played by the higher education institutions and research bodies in Ireland that contribute to the success of the Research Ireland Centres programme, because it is a truly collaborative programme. Thanks to Trinity College Dublin and all of the partner HEIs for the important role they played in ADAPT's success. And of course, thanks to Professor Declan Curran of DCU and Professor Chris Van Egeret of Maynooth for their work in producing this impact report. Congratulations again to everyone on the launch of this report, and I look forward to seeing where your research takes us next. Thank you.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, colleagues and partners. I'm Declan McKibben, Executive Director with ADAPT, and today I'm privileged to speak about one of the most critical aspects of ADAPT's journey since we started in 2015. It's our engagement with industry and the transfer of intellectual property and how this has resulted in real-world innovations and lasting impact for our partners. So I want to share a little bit more detail on some of the impact statistics that you'll find in the report today. So ADAPT has established itself not only as a hub for groundbreaking academic research, but also as a trusted industry partner. Since 2015, we've signed 74 collaborative research agreements with industry partners, demonstrating how ADAPT's research reaches far beyond the walls of the university. Our partners gain access to cutting-edge interdisciplinary research and innovation. It's cultivated here in the Research Centre. And our partners can access new ideas, new perspectives and capacity in the Research Centre, which then enhances their R&D efforts, accelerates innovation and offers them competitive advantage. And of course, this collaboration is two-way, so our researchers benefit from real-world scenarios and challenges, access to data, to infrastructure and not least to funding. The collaborations have resulted in 77 license agreements with companies, both here in Ireland and globally, contributing to the Centre's role as a driver of innovation and intellectual property transfer in Ireland's digital economy. Each licence represents a transfer of ADAPT's intellectual property, creating tangible value in our partners' operations, products and their services. So let me share 3 specific examples that demonstrate the real-world impact of ADAPT's research partnerships. First off, ADAPT has a long-term relationship with Fidelity Investments. We've collaborated on projects, a number of projects involving dividend modelling, dialogue systems and data governance. Through the partnerships, ADAPT's expertise in AI-driven technology has helped Fidelity make significant strides in financial innovation, particularly in improving models and systems for more efficient data management and for customer interaction. Similarly, our collaborations with Microsoft have focused on 2 important areas: machine translation and bias detection. By leveraging ADAPT's cutting-edge research in natural language processing and AI ethics, we're able to help Microsoft in understanding the growing concern with bias in AI systems. And while our language technology experts in DCU in particular have helped them to refine their machine translation tools. And I think that these projects are really good examples of how ADAPT's human-centric AI approach really can benefit large-scale global technology platforms. Finally then, closer to home here in Ireland, we partnered a number of years ago with AIR to develop solutions for detecting and geotagging and monitoring critical infrastructure and specifically telephone poles. The partnership has not only optimised AIR's operational efficiency and saved them money, but it's also demonstrated the practical applications of ADAPT's AI and geospatial technologies in enhancing real-time asset management, and this project also resulted in a deep tech spin-out company called AI Map, which is still going. ADAPT's impact extends beyond these collaborations though, so from 2015 to 2023 we've been responsible on a year-to-year basis for between 6% and 13.3% of all licences originating from research performing organisations in Ireland, which is a really clear testament to our leadership in IP development in the ICT and digital space. And furthermore, since our inception, ADAPT and our predecessor CNGL have, as the Minister noted, has spun out 22 companies, we've created 144 jobs, and we've secured more than 300, those companies have secured more than 340 million through investment activity and international acquisition. And we're not stopping there, so right now there are currently 14 potential spin-outs at various stages of development and incubation within ADAPT. We produce more spin-outs than any other research centre in Ireland, and in 2022, 3 of the 10 university spin-outs in Enterprise Ireland's prestigious High Performance Startup Programme, or HPSU, they were ADAPT spin-outs. And then overall, 5 of our spin-outs have raised 8.65 million in conjunction with the HPSU programme, so we're really proud of that as well. In conclusion, ADAPT's deep engagement with industry and our successful track record in IP transfer have significantly contributed to our role as a leader in AI-driven digital content technology. Our partnerships with companies like Fidelity, Microsoft, Air and many others, they really do exemplify the value and the impact of these collaborations between academic research and industry. And through these partnerships, ADAPT is not only driving technology innovation, but also making a meaningful economic and societal impact. So I'm delighted now to hand over to my colleague, Professor Cathal-Gurran, who will discuss ADAPT's scientific impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Declan. Thank you, Celine. Thank you, John. As you know, advancing scientific knowledge for human and societal good is the core mission of ADAPT, and we've heard about that already. We are justifiably proud of our progress to date and what we expect to come in the future years. ADAPT has produced 21 SFI recognised principal investigators who are global leaders in their field, and an additional 143 scientific leaders who come from a wide range of interdisciplinary science topics and areas such as AI, language processing, advanced data science, through all the way to data governance, ethics, and the various application domains of AI. As John said, it's applied and fundamental research across a wide range of topics, not just computer science, but a wide range of all of the required topics in the area to make AI useful, applicable, beneficial, and for societal good. Resulting from this, we have published over 2,600 high-impact academic papers, contributing significantly to Ireland's international reputation, our global university rankings, and enhancing global knowledge. As a point of comparison, these papers are working at an FWCI of 2.1, which means that ADAPT research outputs are more than twice as impactful as typical research outputs in the fields in which we are researching. That's not just computer science, that's across all domains. Related to this, we mentioned the challenge earlier on of funding in the sector. ADAPT's research efficiency is significantly better than the norms, global norms, with each paper costing, on average in terms of inputs, about a third of the global norms for such academic papers going out in terms of EU and US averages. Notwithstanding this, 60 of our papers have received Best Paper awards over the last couple of years at conferences. Additionally, ADAPT researchers have won 6 prestigious ERC awards worth over 10 million. These are the top awards that the EU offers for research excellence. Our research impact is truly global. We have 266 collaborating partners across 38 countries in ADAPT. It's well known that such kind of collaboration, international collaboration, leads to, number one, more diverse perspectives. Number two, better access to global expertise and talent in Ireland. Number three, increased international impact, global recognition and reputation of Ireland for research excellence. Number four, more access to non-exchequer funding. And we want to point out very recently that our ADAPT NENC, our EU funding targets, have already surpassed our entire ADAPT Phase 2 goals with 2 years to go. So that's really is a commendation of our ADAPT team led by John. So we're delighted as well to report that 50% of our ADAPT publications are with co-authors outside of Ireland. This highlights our international reach across the world, from the EU to Asia, working with partners like Tsinghua University, Peking University, National University of Singapore, UK, Cambridge, Oxford, Americas, Cornell, Stanford, MIT. We work with the global best, and they choose to work with that. Also, companies are publishing with us, such as IBM, Microsoft, Alphabet, eBay, Spotify, AstraZeneca, Apple, Meta, Disney. I could probably be here for half an hour, right? Declan's already mentioned our industrial collaborations and impact, so I will leave it there. The research underpinning these outcomes are from 334 talented graduating alumni, students and postdocs. They are from 54 countries across the world. This internationally leading talent has been attracted to Ireland by research centres such as ADAPT. And as we know, most of these researchers will make Ireland their home. These highly skilled, sought-after researchers will end up for decades to come having a positive impact on Ireland's society and obviously economy going forward. Beyond academic outputs, our outreach and public engagement was mentioned by a number of speakers thus far. Thus far, just as a simple point to make, ADAPT and our EP team have engaged with more than 500,000 citizens in Ireland. 1 in every 10 people in the country. Finally, one more point to make. In order to increase Ireland's reputation further, we strive, as academics at ADAPT, to be at the centre of the activities of our research communities. Although it's often overlooked, hosting international conferences is a key part of this. It increases Ireland's reputation for excellent science, both of the organisers of the conferences, the PIs, the scientific leaders, the hosting research institution, ADAPT, and the country as a whole. Thus far, ADAPT has hosted 64 international conferences in Ireland. This has attracted 24,000 delegates to Ireland up until 2023. This has led to approximately, and conservatively, 38 million euros of delegate spending directly in the country thus far. And this is not going to stop. We have multiple conferences coming up, ACM Multimedia, ACM Web, you name them, we are hosting them in Ireland in ADAPT. So looking forward, we'll continue these activities, our academic activities, our internationalisation activities, our conference hosting activities, leading to real and tangible outputs and benefits for Ireland. So I want to wrap up that and say thank you very much to all of our ADAPT team, as John said earlier on. We really appreciate all your inputs, all your efforts. The report, as you know, highlights this in much more detail. And I'd like to invite Delaram up to talk about our ADAPT alumni. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Delaram and I've been a computer science PhD in ADAPT Centre here in Trinity for 1,468 days. And in just 4 days I'll be submitting my thesis and I'm truly delighted that I've made this far. I moved to Ireland from Iran in November 2020 in the midst of the pandemic, and like many others, I missed out on in-person activities. But despite this, I felt truly welcomed and supported by the ADAPT team, who provided many opportunities for engagement, which definitely made a huge difference in my transition. It was helping me settling down in the new environment and adjust to my then new position. And being a part of ADAPT was truly a transformative experience for me. And much like a plant that needs a suitable environment, ADAPT really was that perfect environment for me to grow as a researcher. My research, which has been funded through the Protect ITM Network by the European Union, focuses on the EU AI Act, which is a topic of intense interest at the moment. And I've been developing semantic models and tools and mechanisms to help with compliance and enforcement of the Act and building regulatory technology or RegTech solutions that are in high demand not only in the EU but globally at the moment. And one of the most significant aspects of our work is that it's open source. So it's freely accessible to all, and less resource organizations who must comply with the obligations of the AI Act can use our work freely. And this emphasis on inclusivity and accessibility is a reflection of the ADAPT's commitment to creating technology that serves a wider community. The impact of our work have been recognized in a number of ways. Around this time last year, I have received the NSAI Innovation Award for my contributions to AI standardization. I was also invited to collaborate with the European Commission's Joint Research Centre in Ischia, Italy. So again, last year, this time of year, I was enjoying gelatos and doing a bit of research on the side, and we developed AI cards, which is a new approach for transparent documentation of uses of AI systems and its risks and impacts on health, safety, and fundamental rights aligned with the requirements of the AI Act. And our work has attracted interest from AI companies, legal consultancies, and our colleagues in academia, highlighting the impact of our work across various stakeholders and also across the society. And these achievements would not be possible without the support and collaborative network fostered by ADAPT and the assistance of ADAPT's commercial and industry teams who played a vital role in guiding me through these opportunities. And being part of ADAPT not only was about my technical skills, but also really shaped my perspective of how the AI ecosystem works and what the ethical and societal implications of AI are. And ADAPT's interdisciplinary environment has allowed me to gain insights that goes beyond these technical aspects of my research and positioning my research as a multidisciplinary work that has a meaningful impact to AI regulation and sensation landscapes. Well, my research addresses a small but crucial subset of challenges that posed by the AI Act, but there are still many open opportunities that require the attention of researchers from diverse backgrounds. And I believe that ADAPT has played a successful role in identifying and fostering talent, and I think that this diversity is essential if we are to realize the ultimate goal of the AI Act, which is implementing trustworthy and ethical AI. However, PhD students, especially non-EU students like myself, face challenges such as visa issues and defined workers' rights, which can hinder our ability to contribute effectively. I'm grateful for the support that I have received from ADAPT in addressing these issues, but ultimately I think we might need national policies to resolve these issues. And by addressing these challenges, PhD students and researchers will definitely be empowered to shape the future of AI in Ireland, helping the country realize the vision of ADAPT to become a leader in trustworthy and ethical AI. And now that I'm concluding my PhD journey, I realize that I couldn't have wished for a better place than ADAPT to receive my education and to pursue my PhD. And I'd like to say thank you to my colleagues and friends in ADAPT and my supervisory team, especially David, who's here today, for helping me become the researcher that I am today. And I'm very keen to contribute to the ethical and trustworthy AI landscape in the years to come. And although this is nearly the end of my PhD journey, but it's just the beginning in disguise. Thank you.
Inspiring talk. Now I invite Garode Carney from the Centre for Smart Ageing in Kerry to talk about our work with civil society.
Thank you. I think I brought the weather from Kerry this morning, so We might leave it with you for a couple of weeks. So look, I'm delighted to be here, guys. I was involved in the development of the Centre for Smart Ageing, which is a space in a place called Farnfore in County Kerry. And I suppose the motivation around the development of the centre, it was during COVID, and the founder of Mobility Genie, Deirdre Fee, saw a lot of her customers coming in and they were losing a lot of cognitive ability. So because of the restrictions during that period of time, they weren't having as many conversations with their neighbours and all the different things that go along with the life of an older adult. So they decided to build the Centre for Smart Ageing, which was a space that was next to their business, and it was a couple of 1,000 square foot, and it allowed for health and well-being classes to happen, and for other types of therapies as well, like reflexology. So people could come in and out, and it was just to improve their health and well-being. And I suppose it was through that period of time, through talking with these individuals, that we started to notice that it wasn't just the health and well-being side, but it was actually that technology was having a huge impact on their well-being. So it wasn't just fitness, And technology was having an impact due to a number of reasons. So a lot of the things that they needed to do were being put behind technology, were a barrier. So online banking was becoming a lot more popular, even interacting with grandchildren and different things like that, and it was becoming a massive issue for them. So I would have learned about the DAP Centre through social media, and I saw images of a think-in that they would have done in Dublin, and I decided to send an email off to them, not expecting a reply, but to my delight I got a reply from Emma. And Emma jumped on a call and told her about the Centre for Smart Ageing and told her about the community that we had down there. And the decision was made that we would potentially look at doing a think-in in the centre. And this was a huge thing for us, because a lot of the events that we see happening, they do happen outside or inside the Greater Dublin area. So to see the researchers from the DAP Centre come down to Kerry and go through a process that made people feel so comfortable to share their opinions and their perspectives. And that was the thing I was most worried about, is that when you put 40 or 50 people from our community into a room with people that they didn't know, that there was 9 or 10 researchers that came down from Dublin, but the whole agenda of the thinking, the way it's structured and the process lended to people becoming comfortable to share their experiences. So we saw a lot of questions being asked, we saw a lot of discussion being had, and it was very interesting to see that they weren't alone in how they were thinking. So most of the individuals in that room, they would have felt that they were the only ones experiencing the barriers and the pain points around this digital literacy and this whole aspect. So to feel that they weren't alone was a really important aspect, and I think that's the thing that has stood really strong to the impact of that thinking, is that these individuals became more comfortable in the weeks and months after to actually come to us and ask the questions that they felt silly asking maybe prior to this. And it was that process that was really, really important. And it was from that it sparked an interest amongst our community to engage with some of the local digital skills classes that are happening in the locality. So we have ETBs and all these different groups that offer these classes, but prior to this, a lot of them individuals, they didn't feel comfortable going into that environment because they felt that they should know this type of thing. But thankfully, that mindset changed and it evolved on. So I suppose to end on this, my recommendation for other communities, my recommendation for these thinkings is that they are a crucial element of civic engagement. They get a perspective, especially when you look at the technology aspect, and it was touched on earlier about the importance of having humans involved in that, and I think we talk a lot about human-centered design, but quite often from a technologist, and I come from a computer science background, we focus too much on the tech and we don't focus enough on the humans. So, and I think the researchers, talking with them after, they got a lot from that because they got the perspective of the people that they're potentially looking at developing research for. And I think the more we can develop that out, we can get products that are more inclusive to the wider society. Because what we found in that workshop was that the things that they were looking for improvements in to provide better access to are things that we would appreciate as well. So you build inclusion into your product from the ground, it makes it better for other individuals as well and the wider society. So again, thanks a million for coming to Kerry, and we will welcome you open arms in the future as well, and I'd love to see this across the other regions in Ireland as well. I think it's a really important initiative, and it was a great experience overall. So thank you.
So we're just coming to the end now, folks. I'm very grateful for your patience and for taking the time to be with us today. I'd like to really thank all our speakers today. It's my role as director. I'm somewhat humbled when I'm very definitely humbled by the way that we see the diversity of impacts that a centre can have, and all of the work that goes behind that to make all of those events impactful. And I'm very grateful for all the people I work with and for the supports we get. So thank you again for coming out. We have a reception down on the right-hand side. If you go out, I would like to join us for some drinks afterwards. And I hope you have a safe and dry journey home. So thank you very much.